Thank you, everybody. Let us now move on to our next session, which is the cybersecurity in cooperative banking. Yes.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'll ask the panelists to introduce themselves first.
Hello, good morning. I'm Rakesh. I'm from Palo Alto Networks. My company basically does cybersecurity. We work with the larger banks. This time we are trying to explore. We are trying to learn from the cooperative bank segment. And that's the reason we are here. I'm here more to learn than to tell. So,
myself Pranav Pandya, Surat District Cooperative Bank, Surat.
Hi, myself Jatin Satpute, CISO at Cosmos Bank.
Hello, myself Nipun Chittora, IT Head, the Udaipur Mahila Samriti Urban Cooperative Bank Limited, Udaipur.
Hello, my name is Ashok Tiwari, CISO from Vasai Vikas Sahkari Bank.
Hi, very good afternoon. I am Dinesh Kumar, General Manager heading IT Department in Andhra Pradesh State Cooperative Bank. So we are one of the biggest state cooperative bank with 46,000 crore business turnover and 13 DCCVs and 2,000 primary agricultural cooperative societies. Thank you.
I got a good panelist, about 3 CISOs are there, then one technical person and others are bankers. Keeping oneself updated with the latest security trends is a necessity for survival of the banks. From yesterday onwards, I hear a lot of things about the cyber security and all. And now we'll be discussing mainly on how to survive in these cyber threats. How to come out of the cyber threats. That is what we are going to discuss mainly. Each panelist will be discussing different points and all. And if I see the top 8 cyber attacks in 2024, it was phishing attack number 1, ransomware second, that is RAS, actually ransomware as a service, denial of service DOS, man in the middle, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, zero-day exploits, and DNS spoofing. And these are the top 8 cyber threats happened in 2024. I will be talking basically, the attacks have increased due to the remote workforce accessing. During the corona period, people started working from the home. They are using the public networks and also the nationwide open public networks and also endpoint compromises, AI-powered attacks, data theft, etc. We'll be discussing, focusing mainly on the banks, how to come out of the things or how far we will be able to survive in this. That is what we will be discussing. First of all, we will be talking about the data breach and data theft, how it is affecting the banks. Maybe one of you, bankers can say. Data breach and data theft.
Yeah, coming to the subject, like data breach and data theft money. Being a cooperative bank, we are having a core banking solution and we are meeting a lot of confidential data, even the KYC related to customers. So that is to be secured and even the financial transactions happen. If there is any, there is a scope for fraud if there is any data breach related to that KYC data. And to protect that, there are a lot of guidelines from Reserve Bank of India and even NABARD. So there is a cybersecurity framework and they have categories all the rural cooperative banks based on their business and kind of exposure. So major point is all the state cooperative banks come under Tier 4. So for Tier 4, we need to have some fraud risk management modules. And now, as he's mentioning, so with the advent of AI, the threats landscape has been increasing actually. The scope of fraudulent transactions is increasing. Even deepfakes is increasing. So in that scenario, even the regulator is insisting for AI-driven fraud risk management modules. So being a cooperative bank, investing in such high volumes with respect to security is one of the concerns, but we should maintain that. So in this scenario, maybe this umbrella organizations being floated for cooperative urban banks and also for the rural cooperative banks, they will come handy because maybe even the quantum kind of thing and AI kind of things, which involves huge investment. small cooperative banks should form a consortium and implement all these security features which are prescribed by RBI and NABARD. By forming such kind of consortiums or else any aggregation at national level.
So I'm just adding accordingly. So there are data breach or data fraud. So we'll divide this part in a two scenario. One is at the customer side, whenever any UPI related fraud or any transaction related is fraud happen. For that, there is a strong system which NPCI has, because most of the transaction is happening on the UPI, but that entire ecosystem is very strengthened. Most of the fraud is happened on the negligence, that user is sharing his mobile screen or something, but there are different type of control which NPCI asks bank to perform, like whenever the UPI application is there, whatever mobile banking application or something, so there are different type of controls which NPCI has already mandated to the bank, like the application has to be application runtime protection module, where anybody sharing screenshot or any session recording kind of applications are there. So those all are getting blocked at the mobile app operating system level itself. So their mobile banking application won't be work. I'm coming back to the infrastructure where the bank as a whole, how they can protect and all. So there are different type of phishing attack happen, like Babu sir has said, there is a top threats and one of the phishing. So in case of phishing attack, we should have a regularly phishing exercise should be conducted with our employee to prepare their more awareness about they should not share their credential while they are clicking on the hyperlink or something. They should check whether that link is genuine or not. All those kind of cyber related awareness kind of program has to be conducted. But apart from there, that is a people and process, but there are different type of technology also. With help of that, we can protect our customer data, like we can take regularly red teaming exercise or the phishing exercise, or along with that we should have a proper SOC monitoring, where the different kind of security, all the alerts are getting monitored, and there should be, see what happened, most of the cooperative sector, they might be have a SOC as a service or security operation service, but whenever we receive the alert from the SOC service provider, how we are attending them? Have you taking the seriousness on those alert? Because the most of the time, or we can say even my past exercise, I have done forensic also. So there are a lot of alerts on there on firewall itself, but admin don't know how to act on those alerts. So there, so that kind of awareness we need to take in the precaution.
Basically, from the layman's language, data breach is the one where personal information is taken by the fraudsters, which results in financial loss and damage to the reputation. Regulatory penalty, RBI compliance, legal issues, disruption of services in ATMs, etc. We'll come to next one where everybody is talking about AI powered. We'll be talking to AI powered attacks and deepfake technology. What is it?
Yeah. So AI is not doing anything totally new. It is doing whatever we were doing much, much faster. So all the frauds are happening faster. So we used to, from the bank employee perspective, we used to get all these spam mails or phishing mails that you click and accidentally put your password, correct? Now that rate is changing. Remember once upon a time, you look at the email and you see some spelling mistake, some font mistake, and you think, oh, this is not a genuine email. That is going away. So that's the main problem that we are seeing, that it is as good as our normal email. You will not be able to distinguish. That's the main challenge that AI is bringing. On the other side, the dummy websites that they are building, let's say somebody, our bank employee clicks on a link and he sees our website and starts putting username and password. That duplicate website they are able to create within hour exactly looks the same. So that's the challenge we are facing from the bank employee side that we should be worried about. From the consumer side, I think it's the same. We are hearing the same thing. Somebody is calling for some reason, and the video calls and all, for various reasons people are doing, and banking arrest and stuff are happening. There, the video itself, the initial video which are shared with you, somebody is talking, you think it is someone else that is trying to connect to you. Those videos, fraud, those are well understood. That is going to continue. For that, I think we were discussing with Nipun sir, that you need to give an assurance to your bank customers that even if you have done something wrong, don't worry, come to us, we will help you. But on the employee side, I think that's where we were discussing that we need to have lots of awareness. Now the responsibility for all of us is to know the IT system. Let's not be scared of it and be comfortable having that discussion and be questioning. Normally what happens is anything that is IT and technology, we trust it by default. But now that is slowly have to deteriorate. We have to assume that trust is deteriorated. We need to check 2 times, 3 times, especially from the bank employee perspective. We have seen incidences, correct? Our customers losing OTP or something is very small. The blast radius or what you call it, the impact is small. But any of us doing that mistake is very, very high. So responsibility on us as a banking community is that we need to be more aware, more training as you were talking about. But otherwise, your easy way of sorting out the problem that this is a fraud, that is going away. So that's the era we are in.
About deepfake technology, anybody? Deepfake technology. Actually, AI is they create the realistic but fabricated videos and audios.
Yes.
In the name of the CEOs of the companies, some staff will be getting the instruction from some this one. It's a realistic one through AI-powered videos and audios is coming, which is replicated, and given the instruction, you transfer this much amount. So without the knowledge, the staff will be transferring. In this case, you see, what do we want, panelists, we want to see is each technology, what is the precaution we should take, we should also mention. In this case, you can do only, you have to call the bank, suppose you are getting instruction from the top people, CEOs. So you should call his PA and find out whether CEO has given this instruction, whether it's correct or not. Some frauds have taken place in the name of the CEOs replicating his voice. This AI-powered one. And maybe if somebody can add something, you can add.
Yeah. I mean, actual thing happened in our bank. I want to
okay, you can
mention actually. See, in our cooperative banks, there will be a fancy thing like all the board members and top senior officers' names and contacts have to be displayed in the website. So with that fancy, some of the customers, some of the fraudsters have spoofed their contacts and they have captured the image from websites, and with the same DP and everything, they have texted to some of our employees, not just customers, some of the employees and also some of the board members. So the message will be so panicking that so immediately we will be tempted to transfer the amounts. So one thing immediately which we did after this incident is we have removed all the phone numbers and email IDs of the senior officers and board of directors in the website. Instead, we have just placed their photograph and about them, they may be LinkedIn profile, and we have mentioned only single mail ID where all the customers' complaints or any mails to be received by the bank will be sent to that, and from there they will be segregated. So one immediate thing which we did is to arrest that kind of frauds. We have removed all the contact details of all the senior officers and board directors in the website. So there is a lot of scope actually. Maybe all our rural cooperative banks and urban cooperative banks should do that actually.
Actually, the staff should be educated in this respect. If somebody is calling at the top, with the name of the chairman is calling, or maybe ED is calling, or GM is calling, they should make sure if any financial instructions is given, they should call their deputy or maybe PA or somebody, find out whether he has really called or not. There is no other way. As I mentioned, I want to mention something. For each and every product, fraudster is bringing the software, or maybe some phishing attack is there. People are taking precautions and all. With all the precautions, or whatever precaution you take, you cannot have 100% security in cyber scenario is not possible at all. And it is not possible because each and everything you develop, automatically somebody is developing some other solution for that. With this, I'll just come to next question is, what is zero trust architecture? This is basically for technical people, for development of the software. Maybe you can mention that.
Yeah. So, zero trust is basically what we discussed in the fraud. Don't trust anything by default. And on the bank employee side and the technology side, the way it is coming is the same password or the same, let's say you log into your laptop, doesn't mean you will have an access to log into the server or your portal also, correct? So there has to be additional authentication at every place. So one-time login and you have access to everything, that should not be how things should be implemented, because that means that you have given full access only one time for whatever reason, that laptop access here. So laptop access, server access, application access, everything needs to be trusted. Whenever things move from one to another, everything needs to be re-authenticated and basically. So the idea is, don't create that somebody is sitting in the bank, doesn't mean that he's connected to the bank network, doesn't mean that he's a trusted thing. So that also needs to be there. He is sitting in the bank or he's coming from outside from his home using laptop, both needs to be re-authenticated for each application and everything. So those are the kind of things that we are talking about. This is more applicable, more critical on the server side, application side, where a person who maintains or monitors something versus a person who makes changes, everything needs to be re-authenticated. One authentication for everything is not the way. So it's coming in various forms, especially on the IT side, that you need to, don't trust that just because the person is sitting in the bank with his laptop or server or desktop, he has to be given more privilege, nothing like that. So whether he's coming from inside or outside, everything needs to be distrusted. The same thing that we are asking on the fraud side is basically trying to avoid that by everything needs to be re-authenticated. And I think the thought process is not just technology, it's more on the process side also. Sir said, if your some board of director calls, there needs to be a process in place. What will you do? He says somebody calls and says this money needs to be transferred to this person. There needs to be a predefined process. Probably it's printed out there somewhere. So that means you are not trusting that thing immediately. You send an email, call up the PA, whatever process needs to be predefined. And that's how it goes across technology as well as the people and the process that you follow. Zero trust from that perspective.
Sir is correctly said that zero trust culture we have to implement with all urban cooperative banks. In present scenario, various cooperative banks depend on single point of contact person, single point of vendors. There's a lots of labs in the zero trust architecture. So we have to implement the zero trust culture environment in the all urban cooperative bank so that we can mitigate the risk as per the RBI guidelines. So it's a big topic in urban cooperative bank and it's a big challenge. So it's a serious matter. So we have to discuss on the various points, but it's easy to implement the.
इसी के अंदर थोड़ा मैं और ऐड कर देता हूँ, जैसे कि सभी यूज़र्स हैं, सारे ट्रस्टवर्थी यूज़र ही हैं जो कि बैंक में काम कर रहे हैं, बट होता क्या है ना कि किस यूज़र के साथ में कब वो क्या गलत कर देगा तो वो अपने को पता नहीं चलेगा. तो उसके लिए हम लोगों जैसे जनरली प्रैक्टिस में भी यही रखना चाहिए कि आपका जो यूज़र है उसका आप रिव्यू करते रहेंगे, क्या उसके पास में एक्सेस है, क्या वो उसको कितना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं हो कि उसको ज़रूरत बहुत कम की है, अपन ने उसको ज़्यादा दे दिया है, या मतलब ये जो चीज़ है तो उसका क्वार्टरली हाफ ईयरली जैसा भी बैंक का डिसाइड करता है उस तरीके से उसको रिव्यू करना चाहिए सारे यूज़र्स को. तो उससे ये पता रहेगा हमको कि मतलब जितना राइट्स उसको होना चाहिए उतना ही वो एक्सेस कर पाए.
Actually, basically it verifies each and every access request to the network. नेटवर्क में कितना एक्सेस आता है उसको वेरीफाई करता है. कंटिन्यूस सेशन मॉनिटरिंग, एक सेशन होगा उसको मॉनिटर करता है across the cloud environments. Zero trust gives access only after initial authorization and revalidation of each and every request from the client. It ensures only the trusted devices meeting. The devices होता है बैंक में होता है, trusted devices होता है. There is some security policy will be there. All these policies should be followed up also. Some new words will be talking actually. One is zero trust architecture. This is basically for the people, for the IT people. Another one is for the quantum computing. Maybe quantum computing, you can mention what is quantum computing.
I will take a bit technical thing over here. nowadays the news is coming that China has written algorithm which can break our encryption, correct? RSA encryption that we use in our banking transaction. Might be true, might not be true, but the basic awareness that is there, that we are expecting that in 10 years, definitely everything will be broken. Public knowledge perspective. Private knowledge perspective, probably countries have capability to break encryption today. With that in mind, once that happens, then trust in the banking is gone. Online banking is gone, everything is gone. We cannot log into our website to do, we need to go back to paper, correct? So the idea here is the quantum is coming and which can break the encryption. So some scientists have already published lots of algorithm which cannot be broken by quantum, at least based on our understanding. But in few years again that will change. Somebody will be able to break that. So there are new encryption technologies are coming in where you are able to very easily change the encryption or the newer encryption as it keeps coming, correct? So those are called quantum safe encryption. So whenever you have an RFP or any thing that you are purchasing, you need to somewhere mention that I want to understand whether you are supporting quantum safe or quantum future encryption, so that things can change. Because now the assumption that whatever we did for 10 years, that encryption is good, that assumption has to be discarded. We have to keep changing algorithm very fast. For that, the whole architecture might be needed on the technical side. So that should be part of the RFP saying quantum safe or quantum progressively changing the algorithm option should be there in the system. That's the important part.
Taking some points from you, maybe from management perspective as a banker, see, cooperative banks every technology comes in the late phase, in the later phase. So, but I believe even this AI and quantum combinedly, we'll be compelled to implement that in our bank, because even now, as I mentioned earlier, RBI has mandated AI-based fraud risk management tools to have UPI and advanced financial transaction facility. In case of quantum computing also, what I believe is for encryptions used for mobile banking, maybe UPI transactions. So if the hacker uses any quantum computer, then your bank should have that kind of encryption. So if your bank is not having that kind of encryption, the fraudster may easily crack every transaction your customers are doing. So maybe we need to adopt in a regular pace, along with on par with commercial banks and any NBFC, this quantum kind of things. Maybe even regulator may mandate that. So we should be having some idea what is going on in the market. Otherwise, we will be vulnerable to all the attacks with this kind of advanced technologies.
So I'm taking in another way, because small cooperative bank or something, they need to implement the technology or something that is not the priority comparative to the business. But we can take one small example that my database should be encrypted. That is a regulatory compliance. So when I did the database encryption, that time my application vendor has to be support that encryption, because they should communicate it to each other. But similar kind of thing when we say the quantum computer and their security and all, so that time whatever technology stack we have, that should also upgradable, and that should support the feature ready. Even we want some vendor win the RFP and he will state that, okay, I will do feature readiness or something, but the hardware stack, technology stack, even the entire infrastructure, that should be ready for the feature upgrade. And accordingly, then we can continue to fight in the cybersecurity space in the upcoming age.
Basically, for non-technical people, encryption in simple word is for ATM. You are going and putting अब ATM में जाके कुछ transaction डालता है. That transaction is going to the switch. Encrypted करके जाता है. वो whatever you are putting वो straight away नहीं जाता है. उसको encrypt करके चौड़ा करके वो भेजता है. That is actually encryption. Now we'll go next to actually ransom as a service. That is RAAS. SaaS जैसा ransom as a service हो गया. Maybe you can mention what is ransom.
So ransom is actually, sir, as everybody knows, and that is a trending attack being done on the banks. The data of your bank or your organization will be encrypted, and they will expect some ransom to release the data. So some of the remedies which we can have is first thing awareness, as our panelists has mentioned. So this phishing is the main reason where ransom attacks are being caused. So phishing simulation and trainings, awareness programs that should be done first phase mein. And next phase mein, if there is any ransomware attack happened, to retrieve the data, you should have some hot backups actually. Immediately, you should have backup which can be restored within seconds to avoid any transaction loss or else any customer loss. So, by following some 2-3 steps, you can avoid this. You can face these ransomware attacks. Rather than avoiding that, you can face. So, to avoid, obviously, training is the one key thing for avoiding ransomware attacks.
सर रैंसमवेयर एज ए सर्विस यानी एक नया थ्रेट है मार्केट के अंदर, जिसमें काफ़ी वैसे टेक्निकल ग्रुप्स है जिसका इतना रीच नहीं है, वो पूरा सिस्टम को समझते हैं और रैंसम एज ए सर्विस वैसा एक प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करते हैं। और डार्क वेब में जो भी आप देखोगे तो रैंसम एज ए सर्विस काफ़ी ये प्रॉब्लम है बैंकिंग सेक्टर के अंदर, तो वो एक सबसे बड़ा थ्रेट है आज की तारीख में।
रैंसम एक्चुअली वो रैंसम मेनी बैंक्स आर पेइंग, वो पैसा दे देता है नॉट अवॉइड द प्रॉब्लम्स एंड ऑल्सो रेपुटेशनल डैमेज। वो कुछ होगा सडनली, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर ऑल्सो समथिंग हैपन, वेरी बिग रैंसम इशू केम and it is not from the bank itself, because most of the banks are going for outsourcing. What is happened to the outsourced vendor also, at the vendor place also, whatever we are talking about should be implemented. It is not that whatever we are talking, it is in the bank itself. If you are outsourced and the entire services provided by a vendor or maybe another switch provider, everything for them also it is applicable. रैंसम प्रीवियसली क्या होता था, रैंसम अटैक के लिए अटैक होने के बाद मे बी साइबर अटैक और फिशिंग कुछ हो गया एंड मोल इज इन द कंप्यूटर, ऑटोमेटिकली दे विल बी आस्किंग द मनी. नाउअडेज एक्चुअली ग्रुप्स है, रेडी टूल किट मिलता है, टूल किट में डेवलप कर देता है रैंसम एंड दे आर आस्किंग द मनी. You not avoid that to actually offline backup. You should do the offline backup, and continuous backup is the most important thing in this respect.
So to prevent such kind of thing, you need to do the digital forensic readiness kind of activity where you can ask vendor, usually how we do the VAPT. So similar kind of exercise where we need to do that, what type of data is getting, what is the threat vector inside the bank, and what are the entry point and how we can prevent that, and what type of data backup is going to shared. Means there will be the 3 different copies. One is the near DR and one is the hard copy to some other different location that we need to preserve. But moreover that randomly we need to withdraw that copy and we need to cross verify whether that is working. Along with that there should be cyber insurance, because in cyber insurance there should be the ransomware related clause should be covered where we can compensate in case something is happened. Prior to that, get such kind of cyber insurance that vendor usually asks, like us, whenever we go for the loan, they ask us for the CIBIL record or CRIF record or any credit report. So similar kind of our perimeter security, there will be the different kind of vendor who do the VAPT, and they will do, like, I'm not targeting any vendor company or something, but like security scorecard where RBI is doing the onboarded most of the bank, and along with the bid sites. So such kind of vendors score cyber insurance company take as a reference to evaluate the bank, how they are secured.
In between, let me welcome Mr. Marathe sahab aaya hai, so from the Reserve Bank of India. So welcome, sir. And now next we will be going for the insider threat. Seem to be the most important thing actually. More than 75% of the frauds are happening through the insiders. Hello, Supani to talk.
इंसाइडर थ्रेट्स के लिए जैसे अगर अपन बात करेंगे तो
पास में रखना है.
एम्प्लॉइज जो हैं बैंक के, उसमें भी 2 तरीके के हो गए. एक तो वो हो गया जिसको कि पता है मुझे करना है, तो इंटेंशनली जो एम्प्लॉय करता है वो एक इनसाइडर थ्रेट हो गया. एक वो हो गया जिसको पता ही नहीं है. जैसे पता नहीं होने का मतलब हो गया जैसे कोई वही जैसा मेल आया, उसके ऊपर कोई लिंक आया, उसके ऊपर उसने क्लिक कर दिया और थ्रेट हो गया, तो वो एक अनइंटेंशनली जो है वो एम्प्लॉय के द्वारा किया गया कार्य हो गया। इसी तरीके से जैसे मान लिया कि कोई एम्प्लॉय है जो कि बैंक छोड़ करके चला गया, अभी सीबीएस के अंदर चाहे जो भी नेट बैंकिंग हो गया है, जो भी फैसिलिटीज जो उसको दिया हुआ था एम्प्लॉय को, उसका यूजर अपन ने मतलब उसका पासवर्ड जो है वो यूज हो गया किसी एम्प्लॉय के द्वारा, तो वो भी एक इनसाइडर थ्रेट में ही माना जाएगा। तो ये मतलब सारी चीजें हैं जो कि इनसाइडर थ्रेट्स के लिए मतलब एम्प्लॉय ही जो है उसका जिम्मेदार है।
From my perspective, it's a very dangerous point. Just mention that inside threats.
Nearby.
It's a combination of various inside trust culture environment. It's a big points, and dependency on vendors. It's inside threats. And third is low budget of IT budgets. It's a big points. एंड जिसमें हम लोग ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि जो भी क्रेडेंशियल्स है वो वेंडर्स के पास है और वो आपके पास नहीं है, तो कभी कभी क्या रहता है कि दूसरे के साथ भी आप वो क्रेडेंशियल शेयर करते हैं, तो वो भी इंटरनल थ्रेट्स है। कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन जो बैंक्स के हैं, जो वेंडर्स से ऑडिट लॉग है, ये सब है। फिर एसएलएम में वो सारे पार्ट्स जो पॉइंट्स है, क्लॉजेस है, वो उसमें मेंशन होने चाहिए कि इनकेस कभी इंसिडेंट हो गया तो आपको रिस्क मिटिगेट करने के लिए क्या क्या प्लान है। जैसा सर ने भी इन डिटेल एक्सप्लेन किया कि आपका साइबर इंश्योरेंस होना चाहिए, और मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट जो है वो है अवेयरनेस, ट्रेनिंग अवेयरनेस। इंटरनली आप उसको अवेयर करिए, एंड वेंडर्स के साथ भी जो भी आरबीआई का रेगुलेटरी पॉइंट्स है, टाइम टू टाइम वो डिपेंडेंसी जो रहता है वो रिस्क मिटिगेट करने के लिए वो मीटिंग्स होने चाहिए, उसका प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होना चाहिए। इट्स पार्ट ऑफ कंप्लायंस, सो दैट वी कैन एक्सप्लेन टू आरबीआई एंड कंप्लीट द कंप्लायंसेस। सो इट्स बिग।
इंटरनल थ्रेड्स यानी सबसे बड़ा थ्रेड्स टेक्नोलॉजी के हिसाब से हम लोग पूरा सीबीएस को कवर करेंगे, कंप्लायंस करेंगे, सिक्योरिटी इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे, लेकिन जो इनसाइडर थ्रेड्स है यानी एक वीकर पॉइंट हमारा सबसे बड़ा, क्योंकि वो इन आउट सब कुछ जानता है, कहाँ पे हमारा वीक पॉइंट है, नेटवर्क में कहाँ पे अपना लूपहोल्स है, सीबीएस में कहाँ पे कुछ कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ हो सकता है। तो वो सिनेरियो में अंदर इंटरनल थ्रेड्स यानी जो विद इन अ बैंक हमारा ही एम्प्लॉय जो हमारे साथ ही बैठते हैं उठते हैं, तो हमसे हमारे सिस्टम से अच्छा वो कौन जान पाएगा जो वो खुद जानता है वीक पॉइंट। तो रेगुलरली सिक्योरिटी वैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करनी चाहिए जीरो ट्रस्ट नेटवर्क के हिसाब से, जीरो ट्रस्ट आर्किटेक्ट के हिसाब से, ताकि हर एम्प्लॉय को एक सिस्टम डेजिग्नेशन वाइज उसके जो भी पावर से जो भी वो यूटिलाइज करता है उसके हिसाब से उसको पावर दिया जाए, और उसको रेगुलर मॉनिटर किया जाए कि भाई वो नेटवर्क में क्या वैसे एक्टिविटी कर रहा है जो इथिकली वो उसके प्रीव्यू में नहीं है। तो लोग मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं हम लोग, तो उसकी तरह उसको प्रिवेंट भी कर सकते हैं।
Just add to one more thing, you can install and develop the AI-based, machine learning-based tools. Like you have analysis the user behavior, how many staff is working and how is they behave. So this analysis is a big point.
Okay. Actually, insider threat, as you was mentioning, 75% of threats are happening through insiders only. Basically, employees intentionally they do the attacks. सभी किसी को स्टाफ को जानता ही नहीं है क्या करना है करके उसको वो कर देता है. Some download of the apps or maybe download the sites and all they do. Third one is actually the system में password not removed. स्टाफ लोग रिटायर होके चला गया लेकिन उसका पासवर्ड अभी भी है, अभी भी चलता है, तो वो पासवर्ड में हो सकता है. बीच में हुआ था, आई एम ऑल्सो एन IAS ऑडिटर. आई सॉ इन बैंक में एक बैंक में फ्रॉड हुआ था. GL अकाउंट विद रिजर्व बैंक वॉज इंडिया वॉज ट्रांसफर्ड. इट वॉज ऑन ए संडे बट पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर दैट हाउ इट हैज हैपन. IT हेड बोलता हमारे पास नहीं, हमारे पास हम घर में था, सब लोग वो दूसरा सेकंड मैन 2 signatures आर रिक्वायर्ड, फिर फ्रॉड हुआ था. Then finally it was found out actually the people who was transferred from there, उसका पासवर्ड रिमूव नहीं किया था, वो पासवर्ड रख के somebody has come and did the entire thing. तो इसलिए we should be actually vigilant is there. This can be IT heads, maybe they can do the unusual data movement. These are the precautions you should take. Unusual data movement होता है, maybe unusual access pattern और download करता है email में whatever the download people are doing. Maybe increased request for privileges. Privilege बाद में IT officer को पूछता है हमको password change करना है, इसको change करना है, like that. Or maybe unsanctioned software download करता है without the permission of the IT head. Rename of the some outsiders are coming and sitting along with the staff members and when they are working. That is also another problem. These are the ways you can avoid. Actually, what we are talking is actually how to avoid the incidents happening or incidents happen. Once it is see, cyber incident will happen. Nobody can stop it. But if it happens, how fast you are going to get rid of it, how fast you are going to sort it out, that is the most important thing. And also how you are going to save the data, whatever till the such time, whatever the time it has happened, till such time, whatever the data is happening, data is there, how you are going to save that data. That is the most important thing in cyber. And maybe something like that, some other word is there, zero-day threats. Maybe...
Zero-day
actually,
threats?
I'm just throwing some of the new terms actually for you because instead of taking only AI, so we are talking about some new threats, new developments we are talking about.
So zero-day threats are जैसे आपका Microsoft लैपटॉप में है, हर महीने 4-5 पैच आता है, करेक्ट? जब Microsoft को पता चलेगा तब he will make उसका पैच बनाएगा. बट हैकर जब फाइंड करता है कि इसमें प्रॉब्लम है, वो किसी को नहीं बनाता, वो डायरेक्ट वो प्रॉब्लम को अटैक कर रहा है, ठीक है? दैट इज़ जीरो डे. द प्रॉब्लम इज़ अभी लैपटॉप में सर्वर में जीरो डे अटैक का बिल्कुल प्रॉब्लम, दैट्स द प्राइमरी टारगेट. स्पेशली जितना बड़ा आपका अपोनेंट है, अगर वो स्टेट एक्टर है, मतलब किसी गवर्नमेंट का स्पॉन्सर्ड है, तो वो उसके पास रिसोर्सेस है कि एक ज़ीरो डे एक्सप्लॉइट करने के लिए आ जाए. मतलब कि पैच अवेलेबल नहीं है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के पास, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को पता भी नहीं है कि ये प्रॉब्लम है और उसके लिए अटैक बनाया उसने. ये जब भी टारगेट बड़ा होता है ये हर बार होता है, करेक्ट? अब इसका सोल्यूशन क्या है? सोल्यूशन ये नहीं है कि वेट करो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पैच देगा, करेक्ट? देयर आर ऑलरेडी सोल्यूशंस. आपको फायरवॉल होना चाहिए नेटवर्क में, आपके लैपटॉप में एंटीवायरस लेटेस्ट होना चाहिए, विच विल हेल्प यू अगेंस्ट दिस. जीरो डे मतलब पैच आया नहीं है, वो थोड़े दिन के लिए कुछ प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करेगा till Microsoft provides, correct? So that's the zero-day protection.
And this is about the CISO. I think 2 or 3 CISOs are there. I find that small cooperative bank, they cannot afford the CISO trained people. They appoint the senior most person as the CISO. What is his responsibilities actually? Well, actually they should be given some sort of a training in securities, etc., so that they will be able to do the work. Nowadays, I found that it's only CISO people are doing only the regulatory complaints and also audit reports. I want to just please throw some lights in this.
So, as you mentioned, sir, so CISOs in cooperative banks especially, compliance is the major part they have to act actually. So, with the small size of teams and with the infrastructure they have, so they have to restrict themselves to compliance. But beyond compliance, there are a lot many activities CISO have to do, like regular reviews of user access or privileges, and even conducting regular meetings with the board of management, awareness and training programs for the staff, and implementing new technologies and ensuring backups. There are a lot many things which a CISO need to do actually, and the management have to give that access and privilege to the CISOs to ensure their IT infrastructure, or not just IT infrastructure, entire banking infrastructure is safe, and a reliable service is being given to customer. That confidence needs to be given by the CISO, in fact, for a bank. So now actually CISO plays a critical role more than any other department or any other teams. Because it gives the confidence, the activities he has to do will give confidence to the customers. So that is actually critical role, and board needs to give importance to the CISOs.
Many CISOs I have met, and they are telling funds constraint is the main issue what we are facing. That is not the only issue actually. They should be trained, or they should update themselves with the latest trends, what is going on around in the different incidents happening. And also people should be, staff to have to be trained. Staff training is the most important thing. Staff to be trained in such a way that each and everything, even if it's a small incidents happening, they should escalate to the top people. So that you will come to know this, maybe starting with a small one, but they may not be aware that it's a big issue. Now I think time is short, so I just want each and every panelist to say how to mitigate these things. That is the most important thing. How to mitigate the, I know it's not possible 100%, but how to stop it, what are the precautions they should take. Maybe start with the one.
I think from the CISO organization perspective, everyone has to think about how to create security operations center. That means something related to IT infrastructure application security comes, there should be a team of couple of people who will be, because their role is such, they will develop an expertise how to handle that situation. Technology is one part, but also understanding if the fraud happens, they should be the one to be consulted. Without constituting the security operations center, the technology cannot help, because technology will do the job, but even the technology will give an alert, somebody needs to understand. So thinking of how to do the SOC, doing an outsourced SOC, I think we were discussing, doesn't always help, because they will take care of the technology, but when they send an alert, somebody has to take or basically guide them. So that's the thought process that needs to be brought in.
जो भी शॉक सेंटर का जो सर ने बताया अभी, उसको रिव्यू करना चाहिए रेगुलर कोर्सेज पे. टेक्नोलॉजी अपने आप में जो भी डिप्लॉयमेंट करेंगे, जो भी गाइडलाइन होगा, हर एक कोऑपरेटिव बैंक उसको फॉलो भी करती है रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन को. टेक्नोलॉजी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के बाद जो भी रिजल्ट है उसको जो रिव्यू करना है, और रिव्यू करके जो एक कॉल लेना है कि कहाँ पे हम रिस्क को मिटिगेट कर सकते हैं. और साइबर फ्रॉड एक बैंक पे होना वो अपने आप में एक अलग फेज़ है, लेकिन जो उसके एंड यूज़र जो है, जो उसको जो पेन हो रहा है, फाइनेंशियल लॉस हो रहा है, उसको कैसे हम लोग अवेयर करें. क्योंकि 90% केसेस के अंदर पैसा यूज़र का जा रहा है, बैंक यूज़र कस्टमर का जा रहा है. तो वो केस में एक अवेयरनेस, यानी टेक्नोलॉजी अपने आप में क्या है, कहाँ पे कैसे कस्टमर को अवेयर कर सकते हैं हम लोग, वैसा एक कैंपेन करके हम लोग काफ़ी कुछ कस्टमर को अवेयर करने के बाद उसको मिटिगेट कर सकते हैं.
So cyber security is it's all about the customer confidence about the bank, that way how that particular bank is secured. Basis on that, that bank can grow whenever they have a trusted customer. For that, the customer entry points, whatever the digital channels are there, like a bank like us, Cosmos Bank. So we did the theoretically exercise of where whatever the point or the customer is touch point, so all those related like regulatory compliance, there is a different type of red teaming exercise on those channel, or doing this various simulation and come up with the various vulnerability, or is there any point, but basis on that we need to conclude that point.
I think most of the banks are going for outsourcing. What is the sanctuary that outsourced vendor or a supplier is protected with all these things? And it has happened, I think last year, one big customer client got affected, and which has affected about 300, 400 cooperative banks. What is suppliers this one? So that can be protected only through the documents, actually legal agreements. In agreements you have to mention, whatever that happens, whatever we are mentioning, those things, everything should be brought inside and get the agreement signed by them, so that they are also be very careful in future.
साइबर सिक्योरिटी से बचने के लिए बैंक में जो ऑलरेडी जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, पहले तो सबसे पहले उसके ऊपर जो भी उसको हैंडल कर रहा है, तो उसके ऊपर पहले उसको प्रॉपर करते हैं. जैसे कि फायरवॉल्स वगैरह सारी यूज़ कर रहे हैं सारी बैंक्स, तो वहाँ पर अपने को न्यू जनरेशन फायरवॉल्स वगैरह यूज़ कर लें. एंटीवायरस यूज़ कर रहे हैं, बट उसके अंदर अपडेट नहीं हो रहे हैं यूज़र्स पे, तो वो अपडेट हो जाए. उसके अलावा भी जैसे काफ़ी कुछ चीज़ें हैं, जैसे हमने भी जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किया है, जैसे एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी सर्वर्स वगैरह हमने इंस्टॉल किए, पैच मैनेजमेंट हमने इन हाउस हमने परचेज़ किया, मतलब इंस्टॉल किया है. लॉग्स वगैरह जो 180 डेज़ के लिए आरबीआई बोल रहा है, तो वो हम लोग उसको स्टोर कर रहे हैं. उसके बाद उसका रिव्यू करना है, तो उसको चेक कर रहे हैं प्रॉपरली लॉग आ रहे हैं कि नहीं आ रहे हैं. तो इस तरीके से आरबीआई ने तो बहुत लंबा चौड़ा गाइडलाइन बना दिया है, बट उसमें से जो हम लोग एग्जिस्टिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में है हमारे पास, उसको एक बार स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लें और उसके बाद नई टेक्नोलॉजी हम लोग अडॉप्ट करें। वो बैंक के अकॉर्डिंग वेरी करेगा, जैसा बैंक का साइज है उसके अकॉर्डिंग, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही स्टेप लेना चाहिए बैंक को।
In urban cooperative banks, we have to implement the first privacy culture policy. It's a big point, and various aspects in the outsource, how to mitigate the risk, outsource policy we have to implement, and more awareness, create awareness internal and external vendors dependency. It's a big challenge. So it's develop a first privacy policy and zero trust architect and cybersecurity policies.
Finally, as all of our panelists told, being a rural cooperative banker and a cooperative banker in general, so the main point is actually organization culture should shift to the information security at all levels, maybe at the management level, at employee level, at vendor level, at policy level. In all aspects, a cooperative banker should focus on the culture where security is one of the prime aspect which is to be considered, even at the level of developing a product, at the level of implementing a technology. So this cultural shift is required for ensuring security in all fronts.
Okay, finally, I would like to say that policies, whatever we prepared, should not be kept on the shelf and out for audit purpose or Reserve Bank of India when auditors come to show only. It should be implemented and also percolated to the lower level also. And maybe with this, I thank the panelists. I hope we have a good session.